He's also got a robotics facility and 2 more gateways on the way. So he is going to have 4 gateways as well as a Robotech. And Socke, he's going to have some issues, I think, dealing with this Banshee, especially if Morrow gets cloaked, but it doesn't look like he's getting cloaked right now. And the reason why I think he's going to have some issues dealing with this Banshee is because really he doesn't have any ground forces. He can warp in some Stalkers, but if he gets Stalkers on the ground, then he's really going to make himself vulnerable to these Marines on the ground as well. And right now, Morrow is getting another Marauder out. He's getting a couple more Marines. He is researching combat shields. And the first Banshee is not out yet. That thing is really slow. Where? Oh, there it is. I was actually a little confused there. There is the first Banshee, and it looks like Morrow here is going to be pushing out with his combined Marine, Hellion, Marauder, Banshee build here. And Socke here might be caught a little bit off guard. He's going to need a lot more Stalkers, but likewise, he's going to need Zealots to deal with the infantry on the ground. His Harvester count is way higher, 31/20, but his army count, I'm not quite sure, is about enough to deal with this. And here we go, bad force fields right there for Socke, and the infantry going to go to work on the Stalkers here, but the probes coming off the line. The probes are going to clear up the infantry, and Socke is going to hold it off. But in the process, losing several of his Harvesters, I believe. I'm not quite sure. It looks like this should update pretty soon. As Socke here, no, it doesn't look like Socke lost any Harvesters at all. So now Morrow is in a hurtful position. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to hold on to this game, as his income is just not enough to match up against Socke. Socke has now cleared the center of the map, has a couple observers on the battlefield as he realizes there are Banshees in the air. There is no cloak on the way though, and Morrow here is gonna be, I don't know, he's gonna have a hard time dealing with the Protoss now. The Protoss setting up a camp right at the natural. The Protoss Socke has an expansion. He has 2 bases up and running, Citadel or Twilight Council also up as well. So he's got the tech advantage, he's got the economy advantage. Morrow, of course, gonna need another miracle to win this game. Scan to take out the observer right there, as the factory actually pushing out right here, just floating around a spot for the Terran army. But Morrow here, what can he do to get back in this game? I really feel like if he transitioned into more factories right now, land this factory and start pumping out more factory units, mech your army, Socke, or Morrow, because I really feel like mech is the way to go against Protoss and not infantry. Infantry is somewhat disgusting, especially, I mean, he's got no dropships, he's got no medvacs, so he has no mobility for his infantry and no ability to heal it. It's just not that effective, and when Socke gets a Colossus out, it's gonna make it that much harder for Morrow to deal with right now. He's got Banshees on the air, but Stalkers deal with that so well, and right now he's got a lot of Zealots still to deal with the Marines, so I'm just not quite sure why Morrow is going off of 2 barracks and 1 starport. He's not using his factory, and I think he's just delaying the inevitable at this point. I mean, he does have Stimpack, he has Cloak for his Banshees on the way, but there's so many observers in the air. Concussive shells are done, shields are done as well, so the infantry is fully upgraded, but it's just not going to be enough against this Protoss army, in my opinion. Factory here floating into no man's land just to get a scout off, and so if this factory dies, Morrow is going to have to, he's not going to be able to build more starports. Really not quite sure why he just kind of threw that thing away. Didn't really scout out anything except the army composition. Socke here just throwing down more gateways, continuing to press his advantage. He's researching charge for his Zealots as well. More observers, of course. Always a wise decision to control the map and the vision with your observatories. And right now, Socke is just mining so happily. 45 Harvesters over 21. What can Morrow do at this point? Just trying to throw up his natural expansion right now. And Socke is going to want to make his attack about right now, because if he can attack, he can exploit the fact that Morrow wasted 400 minerals on this expansion. That's 400 minerals in units that he does not have. So let's take a look at the army tab. 106 over 67. Could there be anything more imbalanced? I don't think so. Force Field's gonna seal the deal for these Marauders and Marines. They're gonna desperately try to get out, and Morrow should just GG out of this game. It's pretty much over right now, as Socke is going to win the 3rd game quite convincingly. Oh, we have the Banshees are still in the air, actually. There's the Observers, so eventually Morrow is going to be able to clear this up. The Banshees actually did quite a bit of damage, but it doesn't really matter. Socke still has the army advantage, and he's going to push in for the victory right now. Morrow is just getting his orbital command up. His income's still so low. It's half of the Protoss player. His production facilities are half of the Protoss player. His army is half of the Protoss player, and Socke going to push in and force the GG. So that is game number 3. Looking forward to game number 4 as Socke is currently 2-1 over Morrow. Thanks a lot, guys, and continue to stay tuned in for the next game. HD signing out.